Yemen, a land located at the southern tip of the Arabian Peninsula, is not just a small nation on the map. It stands at the crossroads of three continents: Asia, Africa, and Europe. To the north, it borders Saudi Arabia. To the east, Oman. To the west lies the Red Sea, and to the south, the Indian Ocean. Because of this location, Yemen has become a strategic choke point along one of the busiest maritime routes in the world. At the heart of this geography is the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, the narrow gate that connects the Red Sea to the Gulf of Aden. Whoever controls this passage controls a vital artery of global trade. Millions of barrels of Middle Eastern oil pass through it every day. Not far away, the Strait of Hormuz carries nearly 20% of the world's oil supply. For that reason, from ancient empires to modern powers like the United States, Russia, and China, Yemen has always been under the watchful eye of global powers. With an area of over 527,000 square kilometers, Yemen is the second largest country on the Arabian Peninsula. Yet, unlike the image of endless sand dunes, Yemen hides a surprising beauty: lush valleys, towering mountains, terraced fields, and ancient villages clinging to the clouds. The western highlands of Jabal Haraz are often called the Green Balcony of the Middle East, cool all year round, more like the East African highlands than the Arabian desert. But beauty comes with poverty. Despite having oil, gas, and valuable minerals such as gold, zinc, and copper, Yemen remains among the poorest nations on earth. Corruption, civil war, and lack of investment have drained its potential. Average income is extremely low, and more than 60% of its 34 million people are youth, many of whom are drawn into armed conflicts. Arabic is the official language, but on the island of Socotra, people still speak Socotri, an unwritten ancient tongue, completely different from modern Arabic. It is a precious remnant of the once glorious kingdom of Sheba, a fading echo of a civilization lost to the sands of time. Yemen is an almost entirely Muslim nation, yet within that faith lie two distinct branches. In the south, most Yemenis follow Sunni Islam, specifically the Shafi school. In the north, they belong to the Shia branch, known as the Zaidi sect. Their rituals, prayers, and customs differ, but both share the same foundation: a deep, unwavering devotion to Islamic law. Praying 5 times a day is an unchanging rule. From dawn until nightfall, the call to prayer, the adhan, echoes from minarets across the cities, reminding the faithful to turn their hearts toward God. From a young age, children are taught to memorize the Quran in madrasas, where memorization itself is seen as a sacred act, even more important than literal understanding. Adults also maintain the habit of reading or listening to the Quran daily, especially during times of hardship and war. When the month of Ramadan arrives, the 9th month of the Islamic calendar, Yemen transforms entirely. From sunrise to sunset, people fast from food and drink. Shops close, schools and offices shorten working hours. As soon as the evening call to prayer sounds, families gather for iftar, the first meal of the day, filled with spiritual meaning and gratitude. Yet beyond religion, one controversial custom stands out: the chewing of khat leaves, also known as cat grass. This native plant has mild stimulant effects that increase alertness and euphoria. According to WHO, around 90% of Yemeni men and more than 50% of women chew khat daily. In the afternoons, people gather in groups to chew, talk, and discuss business, even political matters. The issue is that over 15% of Yemen's scarce farmland is devoted to khat, despite the nation's severe water shortage. Khat consumes massive resources but offers higher profit than food crops. As a result, despite its social and economic harm, Khat remains deeply rooted in Yemeni life, a cultural symbol impossible to separate from the nation's identity. Yemeni women carry a beauty that is deeply Arabian: honey-toned skin, thick black hair, high noses, and faces defined by sharp, powerful lines. Yet that beauty is rarely seen by the world, as it is almost always hidden beneath layers of thick black fabric. Only their eyes, deep, mysterious, and proud, are left uncovered. They wear hand-embroidered veils adorned with silver or beads, reflecting a sense of beauty that is both modest and traditional. Despite their captivating appearance, the lives of Yemeni women are tightly bound by strict rules. They are not allowed to drive, cannot leave home without a male guardian, and have little to no voice in society. Only about 6% of women have jobs, one of the lowest rates in the world. Even within their own homes, they live under the authority of men, where every decision is made by the patriarch. Education for Yemeni women is a path full of barriers. In cities, only about 1/3 of women can read and write. In rural areas, the number drops below 20%. Many girls are forced to leave school as soon as they reach puberty and are married off, sometimes as young as 12 or 13. Early marriage steals their childhood and exposes them to deadly risks during childbirth, as many give birth in poor conditions without doctors or medical equipment. Yemen today has one of the highest maternal mortality rates in the world. In remote areas, childbirth is still handled by traditional midwives, and female genital mutilation remains a cruel practice that causes lasting physical and emotional pain. Meanwhile, Islamic law allows men to have up to 4 wives, deepening the gender inequality even further. There was once a time, in the 1990s and early 2000s, when Yemeni women began to study, to work, and to dream. But war, poverty, and extremism have erased those steps forward. Today, they continue to live in a world covered not only by fabric, but by invisible walls of restriction. Yemen is a land where social customs can easily confuse first-time visitors. Take, for example, the Yemeni greeting. It is completely different from what most of the world knows. Among men, especially in traditional Bedouin tribes, people do not shake hands or hug. Instead, they lightly touch their noses together several times. This gesture is not just a formality. It symbolizes trust, respect, and a deep personal bond. In that moment, a serious gaze is considered the most sincere way to say hello. Another common mistake made by visitors involves the left hand. In Yemeni culture, the left hand is considered unclean, as it is associated with personal hygiene. Therefore, you should never use your left hand to give or receive anything, not even money, a phone, or a piece of bread. Even if done accidentally, it can be seen as disrespectful. This unwritten rule is followed strictly in daily life. There are also strict boundaries between men and women in public. Male visitors should not initiate conversation, stare, or touch women. If communication is necessary, it should be done through a male companion, or by waiting for the woman to speak first. Breaking this rule can easily lead to misunderstanding or even offense. In social interactions, Yemenis highly value humility and politeness. When offered food or a gift, it is customary to refuse several times before accepting. This is not out of insincerity, but a sign of respect and modesty, to avoid making the host feel pressured. Accepting too quickly may appear greedy or impolite. Likewise, hosts often decline a guest's gift several times, even when they genuinely appreciate it. Today, Yemen is known as one of the poorest countries on earth. Yet thousands of years ago, this land was a symbol of wealth and power in the Middle East. It was the cradle of great civilizations: Sheba, Himyar, Qataban, and Hadramut, the kingdoms that built the legend of Arabia Felix, meaning Happy Arabia. The prosperity of ancient Yemen came from a substance once worth more than gold, frankincense. This precious resin, taken from the boswellia tree, was prized in religious rituals, medicine, and perfume making. Thanks to their monopoly over the incense trade, Yemeni kingdoms accumulated vast wealth and controlled key trade routes connecting Asia, Africa, and the Mediterranean. Its strategic position made Yemen the commercial heart of the ancient world, attracting the ambitions of mighty empires like Persia, Byzantium, and later the Islamic caliphates. The Golden Age of Yemen left a lasting legacy. The ancient kingdoms built thriving cities, advanced irrigation systems, and magnificent architecture. Shibam, often called the Manhattan of the desert, with its tall mud brick towers, stands as proof of Yemen's remarkable engineering skills. Legend says that the Queen of Sheba once ruled a vast empire stretching across 3 continents. Yemeni merchants sailed to India, East Africa, and Southeast Asia, spreading goods, knowledge, and Arabian culture throughout the ancient world. But the glory did not last. When sea routes replaced the old overland trade paths, Yemen gradually lost its central position. While its neighbors entered the oil age, Yemen lacked major reserves. By the late 19th century, the nation was divided, the north under the Ottoman Empire and the south under British control, 2 opposing systems that existed for more than a century. In 1990, Yemen was finally unified. Yet instead of prosperity, it fell into endless cycles of political instability, civil war, and deep poverty. What was once the happy Arabia has now become a shadow of its former self, a kingdom of ruins and forgotten splendor. Today, Yemen is considered one of the most unstable and complex political landscapes in the world. On paper, it is a republic with a president, a parliament, and a constitution. But in reality, the country has none of those things functioning as they should. Since 2014, Yemen has been deeply divided. No unified president, no active parliament, and no single legal system governing the entire nation. Each region of Yemen operates like a small independent state, with its own government, laws, and tax systems. Citizens in Sana'a, Aden, or Marib may all hold Yemeni passports, but they live under entirely different authorities. The crisis began in September 2014 when the Houthi movement, officially known as Ansar Allah, launched a surprise attack and captured the capital, Sana'a, forcing the government to retreat to Aden. The Houthis are an armed Shia Muslim movement from the Zaidi sect, originating in northern Yemen. Initially, they rose up against corruption and claimed to defend the Zaidi minority. But after taking the capital, they established their own government, pushing President Hadi into exile in Saudi Arabia. What began as a domestic power struggle quickly turned into a regional war. Iran was accused of backing the Houthis, while Saudi Arabia led a military coalition supporting Yemen's internationally recognized government, viewing Yemen as a crucial buffer against Iranian influence. Today, Yemen has 2 parallel governments. The north is controlled by the Houthis, complete with their own ministries and armed forces. The south is ruled by the Saudi-backed official government. Adding to the complexity, the Southern Transitional Council, supported by the United Arab Emirates, controls much of the coastline and seeks to restore South Yemen as it was before 1990. Amid these rival powers, dozens of tribal militias, local warlords, and extremist groups also fight for control. Cities like Taiz and Marib frequently change hands. The political map of Yemen resembles a massive patchwork quilt, constantly shifting, with no region truly at peace. Sana'a, the ancient and largest capital of Yemen, is a true gem in the heart of the Middle Eastern desert. It preserves thousands of years of architecture and a building style unlike anywhere else on Earth. Located over 2,000 meters above sea level, Sana'a is one of the highest capitals in the world, with a cool and mild climate, almost a miracle in the arid Arabian landscape. Legend says that the city was founded by Shem, the son of Noah, after the Great Flood. Though unproven, many believe Sana'a has existed for more than 2,000 years. For centuries, it was the political and cultural heart of Yemen, until war forced the government to move to Aden. Yet the soul of the nation still lies here, within its unique clay skyscrapers, a sight almost unseen anywhere else on Earth. No concrete, no steel, only mud bricks, white lime, and stained glass. These buildings rise 7 to 9 stories high, some reaching 30 meters, earning Sana'a the nickname the Clay Dubai, both humble and magnificent. Each house is a masterpiece of natural engineering. Thick walls absorb heat by day and release warmth by night, keeping the interior pleasant without air conditioning. The ground floor stores goods or houses animals. The middle floors are for living, and the rooftop opens to the sky, where families sleep under the summer moonlight. In 1986, Sana'a's old city was recognized by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site, a living symbol of art, history, and ancient craftsmanship. But in recent years, war has turned it into a heritage under threat. Many buildings have collapsed. Walls bear the marks of bombs and bullets. Yet Sana'a still stands, proud and unyielding, a living witness to a beauty that cannot be destroyed. Life in Yemen is covered with dust and echoes of gunfire, yet amid the ruins, the flame of resilience still burns. Many neighborhoods look like battlefields. Makeshift shops rise among the rubble, children play beside broken walls, and adults struggle daily just to survive. Sanitation systems have collapsed. Trash piles up like mountains. Clean water has become a luxury. In refugee camps, thousands of families live without shelter, medicine, food, or even hope. Mothers share one loaf of bread among 4 children. Some survive on boiled greens, leaves, or dried dates. Most Yemenis live below the extreme poverty line, relying entirely on international aid. Average income ranges from $30 to $100 a month. Even doctors and teachers, once the most respected professions, earn barely $200, not enough to feed their families. Women rarely work. Most depend on men who sell fruits, spices, or charcoal in street markets. And yet, smiles remain. When a Yemeni sells even a small item, they still smile, as if to say, "We are alive, we still have hope." Their food reflects simplicity. Flatbread, boiled vegetables, dates, and hot tea. Camel meat, a luxury, appears only on special occasions. What's truly remarkable is that hospitality never disappears. Yemenis will gladly share their last piece of bread with a stranger. Still, the sad image remains. Rifles, daggers, grenades hanging at their sides. War has not only destroyed homes, but also crushed the smallest dreams of its people. If you love coffee, you've surely heard of mocha, a name that became legendary. But few know that mocha is not just a flavor. It's the name of a small Yemeni port that once stood at the heart of the world's coffee trade. In the 15th and 16th centuries, its docks were filled with ships carrying Yemen's coffee beans, grown on dry mountain slopes, roasted to perfection, rich in taste, with a natural hint of chocolate. From there, mocha became a global icon, forever tied to Yemeni pride. Today, the coffee trade is no longer what it was, but coffee remains the soul of Yemen's culture and a source of national pride. Yet what truly intrigues outsiders isn't coffee. It's a controversial ancient remedy. camel urine. In regions like Marib, Al-Khaf, and Hadramaut, locals believe that the urine of female camels, especially those that have never mated, can detoxify the body, heal liver diseases, brighten skin, and stimulate hair growth. This miracle medicine is sold in traditional markets in small bottles, priced from $4 to $20 per liter, depending on its source. Some local beauty salons even mix it with essential oils for hair and skin treatments. Demand is so high that many now raise camels like living medicine plants, adjusting their diets to improve the quality of the product. However, the World Health Organization has issued strong warnings. Using urine, from humans or animals, can cause serious infections and digestive disorders. So, what do you think? Would you dare try this miracle cure? If yes, comment number 9. If you prefer just a cup of mocha, type 10 instead. When people mention Yemen, one cannot forget Socotra Island, often called the Forgotten Planet of the Indian Ocean. This island is world famous for having one of the strangest ecosystems on Earth and is recognized by UNESCO as a World Natural Heritage Site. Here, hundreds of species of plants and animals exist nowhere else in the world. The most iconic among them is the dragon's blood tree, with its umbrella-shaped canopy and crimson sap that looks like blood. Around it lie beaches of fine white sand, crystal-clear turquoise waters, limestone mountains, and lush green valleys, creating a landscape both mysterious and majestic. Socotra is a paradise for biologists, photographers, and anyone seeking to touch the untouched beauty of the earth. If you love history and architecture, Shibam, the Manhattan of the desert, will take your breath away. This ancient city was built entirely of sun-dried mud bricks, with buildings rising 3 to 7 stories high, standing close together like a massive ancient metropolis. Once a bustling trade hub along the Silk Road, Shibam still preserves the soul of a prosperous Yemen, where merchants from Asia, Africa, and Europe once met and exchanged precious goods. And finally, Sira Fortress in Aden, a military stronghold more than 1,000 years old. Sitting atop a hill overlooking the sea, this fortress once protected the city from pirates and invaders. Today, it has become the most beautiful sunset viewpoint in Yemen, where visitors can feel the ocean breeze, listen to the whispers of history, and gaze upon Aden, the radiant port city glowing amid the barren desert. If you're an adventurer who loves crossing the line between reality and myth, Yemen is the land of unsolved mysteries. The most famous of them all is the Gate of Hell, the Darvaza gas crater in the heart of the desert. Its flames burn endlessly day and night, spewing smoke and heat like a doorway to the underworld. Although it was actually formed by a gas drilling collapse in the 1970s, the surreal red glow has turned it into one of the most haunting and fascinating destinations for explorers and daring photographers. Equally mysterious is the ancient city of Barkwish, once a magnificent trade center of the legendary Kingdom of Sheba. Now it stands as a ghost town, buried in the sand, with crumbling walls, leaning towers, and silent temples. Walking along its stone paths, visitors can almost feel the breath of history, as if every brick still whispers the story of a glorious civilization long lost to the sands of time. The Jaras Plateau is also a place filled with mysteries. On its steep cliffs lie the misty villages of Al-Jayara and Manaka, floating in fog all year round. At night, dim golden lights pierce through the mist, and the sound of the wind howling through narrow stone passages creates a haunting melody of wilderness. Local legends say that ancient spirits still wander around the old fortresses, guarding the secrets of a Yemen both majestic and mystical, a land where time stands still and legends never die. Yemen is not only a land of deserts and ancient wonders, it's also a culinary paradise of the Middle East, where every dish carries the soul and story of its people. The most iconic is salta, the national dish of Yemen. This thick, hearty stew is often served during family gatherings and festivals. It's made with slow-cooked lamb or beef, mixed with julva, a special sauce made from spicy aloe seeds, slightly bitter yet deeply flavorful, cooked in clay pots with vegetables, eggs, and handmade bread. Salta's hot, rich taste melts in your mouth, bringing warmth and comfort, the very essence of Yemen. Next is mandi, the pride not only of Yemen but of the entire Arabian Peninsula. Mandi is a rice dish with lamb or chicken, marinated in turmeric, cinnamon, cloves, and nutmeg, then cooked in a traditional underground oven. The gentle heat softens the meat while preserving its aroma. Served with golden rice and tangy sauce, mandi becomes a symbol of celebration, a meal to share, to connect, and to remember. No Yemeni table is complete without handmade bread, round, thin, crispy on the outside yet soft inside. It's not just a side dish but also a tool to scoop and enjoy salta, proof of the elegance hidden in Yemeni cuisine. And finally, kisr, a traditional mountain drink that embodies the spirit of Yemen. It blends roasted coffee husks, fresh ginger, cinnamon, and cardamom, creating a spicy, warm, and aromatic flavor. Kisr is more than a beverage. It's a ritual of hospitality, a symbol of friendship, and the heartbeat of Yemeni culture. Yemen is a land where tradition and faith blend in every celebration, reflecting the deep spiritual life of its people. One of the most important events is Eid al-Fitr, marking the end of the sacred month of Ramadan. From sunrise, families dress in new clothes, children eagerly receive gifts, and women prepare sweets, honey, and delicious fried dishes. Men and boys gather at the mosque to pray in a solemn atmosphere. When the prayers end, everyone exchanges hugs and blessings, and the joy of reunion spreads through every house and every street. Then comes Eid al-Adha, the festival of sacrifice, one of the two biggest celebrations in Islam. During these 3 holy days, Yemenis honor the faith and devotion of the Prophet Ibrahim through the ritual sacrifice of sheep or cattle. The meat is divided into 3 parts, one for the family, one for relatives, and one for the poor. The air fills with the sounds of celebration, the aroma of grilled meat, and the sight of vibrant traditional clothing, creating an atmosphere of warmth, generosity, and faith. Yemeni weddings are also true festivals, lasting from 3 to 7 days. They are not just about 2 people, but a celebration for the entire community. Folk music, traditional dances, and rhythmic drumming fill the nights. The bride shines in her hand-embroidered dress, adorned with silver and gold jewelry, symbolizing happiness and prosperity. Families set up tents, cook together, decorate with flowers and lanterns, turning the wedding into a living painting of Yemeni culture. Travel expenses in Yemen depend greatly on your travel style and level of comfort. For those who love authentic and budget-friendly adventures, around $20 to $50 per day is enough for a meaningful journey. This budget allows you to stay in local homestays, enjoy traditional street food, and travel by shared taxi or local bus, an ideal way to experience Yemen's simple yet captivating daily life. For more comfort and safety, a budget of $80 to $100 per day is suitable. You can stay in mid-range hotels, use private transport, and receive assistance from professional tour services. Many international travelers choose this option to ensure both safety and convenience in a country with limited tourism infrastructure. For Socotra Island, Yemen's legendary paradise, most visitors book 7-day all-inclusive tours. Priced around $200 per day, covering accommodation, local transport, and a guide. Including visa, insurance, tips, and personal expenses, the total cost usually ranges from $2,500 to $3,000. In certain sensitive areas, travelers must hire a local escort or cultural guide, who also serves as translator and safety companion, costing around $100 per day. On average, a 7-day trip to Yemen, excluding international flights, costs between $600 and $1,000. Whether you choose a budget journey, a comfortable experience, or a daring adventure to Socotra, Yemen promises a once-in-a-lifetime exploration, wild, ancient, and unforgettable. Traveling to Yemen is not for the faint-hearted. After years of conflict, many regions remain unstable, some controlled by armed groups, others under strict government supervision. Visiting Yemen requires thorough preparation, patience, and a strong sense of safety. If you truly wish to explore this legendary land, choose verified safe zones and organized group tours. Before departure, always check international updates and embassy travel advisories. International flights to Yemen remain limited, and Sana'a Airport is mostly closed to commercial flights. Most travelers transit through Egypt, Oman, or Djibouti, then continue their journey using local, time-consuming transport. Regarding visas, Yemen does not issue regular tourist visas. Most travelers can only enter through licensed tour agencies offering guided package tours. Independent travel is nearly impossible at this time. Cultural awareness is essential. Yemen is a conservative Islamic country, so visitors must dress modestly. Women should wear long sleeves, long pants, and cover their heads. When taking photos, always ask for permission first, especially when photographing women or religious sites. Yemen, a land of wonders and ancient mysteries, continues to amaze the world. Which part impressed you the most? Leave a comment, hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to continue this journey of discovery. Note: all information in this video is for reference only. Please do thorough research before making any travel decisions. See you in the next adventure.